Is he here?
Yep, Dart.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, man? E, what's going on with you?
Good, man. So it's looking like it's recording. Okay.
Yeah, everything going. We're recording.
Okay.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking in with us, man, allowing us to conversate with you for a while, man, about everything that's going on during these quarantining times and this incubation period. How's everything going, man, through this quarantine for you?
Oh man, I'm just like everybody else, man. Just chilling and just waiting everything out, man. You can't really, it's only so much you can actually do anyway. It's just like we can sit and talk about the theories of what we think is going on, but we just at the same time we gotta just sit back, take this time and reevaluate yourself, and get your priorities together and make yourself a better person. If anything, become a better person after all of this, and just keep doing what you're doing and just get your focus, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just a little more. I mean, I've always been focused, man, but I think I was always in and out of being focused because when you're doing other stuff. But now, it's just a little more, you could actually plan your day out and say, you know what, I got this and to do. And I'm going to do everything that I put on my list because.
And get the shit done too.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't, because it's like, I was like looking at another, like a little interview on like what I was telling you about, with Black Thought and King Crooked. And they was saying the same thing. Black Thought say, man, I'm busier now that I'm in the house more than I was when I was out. Wow. So I was like, yeah, it can happen like that. You get busy, man. You be like, because if you really like look at stuff you need to do and you actually chop them up and be like, you know what, I didn't have to leave my house and I did everything that I said I was going to do and you did it, man. So that's a focused goal, I ain't mad at it, So if anything else, man, it just, if nothing comes out of this, we just should, be a little more focused on what we want to do.
Right. Oh, so our album's done then. Your album's done.
You know
next
what?
album?
You know what? Hey, man, I hate to talk, because that's what I try to stay away from. Because, when people talk about albums and they like, man, I'm working on an album. My new album about to drop. And
redundant as hell, yeah.
Don't hear from me, right? So this is how, I was prepared for this. So this is how I'm going to tell you. Am I working on music? Yes. Do I got a release date? I don't see a release dates until I'm actually sending it off to the distributor.
All right.
So, I can just tell you that sometimes it can be it'll be more of a surprise because I'm not gonna officially give out any word and dates until I'm actually ready to go to distribution.
Yep, that's cool.
Because if I start telling people dates, man, and they be like, oh man, I got something dropping this summer or in this fall, people, and then you don't live up or you don't commit to what you're talking about, and then it makes it sound like, man, this guy was BSing, you know what I mean? Or he's just a talker. So I learned that over the years, man, growing up, man, I was around people that did that. Now, it didn't even happen musically. It could have just been on some, oh man, next week I'm getting this, or I'm gonna do that next week, in a month from now. So, and then, we from the era where everything was coming soon. Remember when you're on the flyers? Yeah. We always put coming soon, and that's nothing to take away from that because a lot back in those days, in the 90s, when somebody said it was coming soon, they actually did come soon, right?
Yeah,
So, and I think now the game has changed to the point where you ain't got to even say coming soon. You just be like, release it,
Release it.
Yeah, so I ain't giving dates because I don't want to sabotage myself on talking about dates, man. I'm work, and then I got some stuff in the works though,
That's cool, because one of the questions I was gonna ask was, were you working on any projects or working on any songs, and are you still collaborating with your most common collaborators? Have the quarantine kind of changed how you work and how you record and the time? Nah.
Not really with me, man. I think before the quarantine thing anyway, people was working in, some people go to the studio, some people like send off beats or they send off verses. So we've been doing this for years. People have been doing that for years. So I think it's still that same aspect of it. You can still do that and still continue to get your music done. It hasn't really stopped me from doing it. Like I said, it made me a little more focused now. Now I'm like, oh, I'm writing a little more now. I'm actually like, let's go get it done instead of, because me, man, I get it's not comfortable, but you deal with regular life, man, every day, and I just
Yeah.
think that you sit back after a while, you be like, man, 3 months went by, I ain't even did no music. And it's not intentionally, it's just life. So but like I said, man, it shouldn't stop you. I know a lot of people got home studios
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and equipment at the house where they can record still, and then some and a lot of studios are still available to certain people. So
Yeah,
it's still ways to get in now. Excuse me.
Right. So the recording you doing, man, who you been working with? Are you allowed to say who you've been working with, or do you feel comfortable talking about the engineers and producers you've been working with on your projects recently? Your work?
Man, well, one producer I've always worked with for my long time bro is McLaren F1, of course. He's
Shout
done
out
a lot of
to
both
L,
of my
man.
music.
Shout out to L.
He's yeah, he's done the boat of my music. You know, um, let me put this out here. I have 2 different projects I'm working on.
Okay.
So I have one that, like I said, I ain't giving out no dates. I
Don't
just
give
know
us
that I'm
no
working
date.
on it.
Yeah.
And I have another one that I had a lot of different like not you know what? I don't you know what? Let me put it this way, man. Like McLaren F1 is my main dude, but when it's time to work like with features, I'm not big on features. I have nothing against it. Maybe I'll start doing more, but I got on the project that I was finishing up, of course I got Griffinstein on there. You know what I'm saying? I got the bros, I got STN, who's not here physically, but he's still within us. I still put his music on there. Who else on there? Brimstone on that project.
So you got Brim on the new one too?
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's weird how these 2 different projects. I don't know what I don't want to say what's coming first though. It's still a both of them are 2 projects. They two separate projects, but I'm gonna let me put it this way. I'm gonna give you a teaser first, and then I'm gonna come into the full project. So we're gonna do it that way. But yeah, I got a lot of in-house people, of course, people I've been working with. And for the other project that I'm doing, it's pretty much to the head. You know what I'm saying? On that one, it's because I basically just did like an EP and did an album. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's how I did it. You know what I'm saying? And EP, is never no more than between 5 and 7 songs. So it's not enough room to always put people on those songs because you want to get your point. You say what you're gonna say. The album has, of course, the features on there. So that's basically how I'm hitting it.
The big thing everybody talking about, is during the quarantine, either people gonna get married or they gonna get divorced or they gonna have babies. How the family going?
Oh man, everything's good, man. And that's one thing that I was telling somebody about that a couple of weeks ago. I said, man, this is the time where everybody, they either gonna be beating up each other, they're gonna love each other even more. Mm-hmm. And we might see a wave of a bunch of babies, early next year because of everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a beautiful thing though, man. Kids is kids, man. But I just feel like when you put people in the house a long time, you know how things happen,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm on my end. I'm hoping everybody's showing, people I know, I hope it's some love going on instead of, the other.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I do hear the other stories, the other side of it too. It's like it's either you loving the person or you against the person. It's a lot of other stuff going on. So it's always both sides to that. So, but yeah,
Okay, so along with those songs, what about any future videos? You're gonna have any? What are your future videos gonna look like? A lot of people ask me about erase videos because I don't know if it's the chemistry behind the videos, the co-director before you even step in with the director, the visions you have. But a lot of people ask me about the videos of yours, and man, like what were you guys doing when you were like when we shot that video, Don't Get Your Ass Kicked, and I think we was in front of the store. We was in front of a store on one of those scenes, and people was like, man, where's that store at? And like, so as far as the video is concerned, what's the future music video is gonna look like?
You know me, man. I just try to keep it, you know, simple but creative. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think that video was very simple because it showed me just MCing and going to different spots. She was with me, and we, you know, I just try to hit spots that everybody ain't touched yet. You know, where it's like it'll make you ask those questions. What did he shoot that at? You know what I'm saying? Where was you at when? Because if they know you personally as a director, they're gonna ask you further. And you know, if they haven't talked to me, they're gonna definitely, man, where did you shoot E-Ray's video at? Well, I couldn't recognize that spot, or is that, you know? So I think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I've always tried to evolve in terms of like trying to find different spots where I can be creative and at the same time bring out a video and make it look the best as it can, you know. So that's what I do. It's not about being different. It's just more about like what vibe can I get from this certain area when I'm doing my video, you know. So that's kind of the approach I had when I did that video. It was kind of like simple, but I wanted to make it where, you know, the surrounding areas were enough where you can visualize something like, oh, where is that at, you know? Instead of just being in the same spots in the same areas, because once you do those videos in your areas already, then it's time to expand out and do them other places, so your videos won't look the same.
Right. And what's good is a lot of your videos, man, probably only 1%, not even a whole 1% of your videos been done in your hood. You know, they've been done everywhere else and in other different locations and things like that.
Right. And I set out to do that. It's just because, like I said, you know, once you do a video, where you from, that should be that video. It's like now you can go back and say, man, I remember when he did that video in the hood, or when he did that video here on this street, on this block. But then once you do that, it's time to, like, you know, push the envelope a little bit, you know.
Yeah, like Jay-Z, where I'm from, the video where I'm from, he was in Marcy for that one.
Right.
You know, it didn't never go back to that. If you want to see Marcy and Jigga, you go back to that, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. That's how you do it. I mean, I feel the same way when Nas was doing his videos. He did a lot of his videos in the hood, but he did them in different areas. You know, he probably did one or two in his real hood where he was from, and then the rest of those, they went somewhere else, you know?
So, yeah, shout out to you for bringing some more extra flavor to the game, man. And
say what? I didn't get that. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, we appreciate, you know, doing the music videos, man, and the work me and you do together is always a wonderful thing. And
yeah, man, I try. You know what? I feel like, you know, we get that chemistry. And, you know, that's how I feel when me and L, we get down, McLaren F1, the producer. We get tracks, we get that chemistry going, and it comes out right. You know, it comes out lovely, man. And I feel the same way that's why I always stick with you, because it's kind of like you see the vision that I'm trying to portray when I'm trying to do my stuff. You know what I mean? So you get it. You like, what you want to do? And I'm like, all right, this is my idea. And then we collab, and you say, okay, this is what I was thinking, and maybe you can do it like this with your ideas. So it's easier that way. When you collab with somebody that understands your creative mind and use their creative mind and come together, it just makes you know. So when people be like, oh, you should go mess with this person or this person, I'm like, it's cool, and I don't mind, you know, venturing out. You definitely want to do that. But if you got a good chemistry with somebody, why not? Why stop it? You know?
Right. I'm definitely with that. So earlier you spoke about evolution, and so in terms of E-Ray C and evolution, you've been doing this for 25 plus.
Right.
What keeps you going? Like for me, I'll just speak on a little bit of the history that I know about E-Ray C. For me, there's magazines that's not around no more or as popping. People don't look at the source now as for what it was back then. They look at like the Thizzler and stuff like that. They go get most of their info from Thizzler and other blogs. But you were the source during the time that it was like a hard thing. And coming from Richmond, California, the West Coast, what did that do for you as far as, man, like, look, I got to do something with this. I got to turn up with these bars. What did being in the source do for you? For the people that don't really know, the youngsters that's tuning in, Source was a really prominent magazine. So I want to know from you, what did that do for you?
Yeah, man, to touch bases on that, you know, being in the source was like the top of the game back then. You know, if you was featured in the source, that was almost like the Grammy for the hood. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that got in the source back in the 90s, that was like, because that potentially could have got you a deal. Yeah. So it was a big deal.
Right.
I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't know it was a bigger deal until actually the response from people. Like I knew I was getting in there, but it was like that was cool. But I think the response from everybody, like, man, I seen you in the source.
Right.
What? I can't believe it. That
Right.
made me elevate my game. So I felt like I had to go harder when people was telling me we all seen you in this, and then I'm getting people out of state saying they seen me. So I'm like, oh shoot, my pen game got to get up harder. You know what I mean? Like now I got somebody looking at me. Now I don't know what executives or what labels might be looking at you. So you got to come tighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it did. Push some fire up under me to, to keep pushing a little harder. Cause, that was my initial thought. Like, oh shoot, I'm in a source. I gotta come tight now. You know what I mean? Right. I gotta represent where I'm from. I can't just be this regular, just rapping. I gotta be like, okay, I gotta step up the game, step up the bars. I gotta really show them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's how I was looking at it. Just like coming out harder, but I wasn't tripping off like, oh man, I can get signed. A lot of people was wondering about that, but I was focused more on just being a doper MC. The signing thing, yeah, it can happen and it can't happen, but I think there was a gift and a curse, and I never told anybody about this, but this is the first time I'm saying it on Dark Network, man. There was, me being in an issue when Big passed, that's a great issue, right? But it was bad for West Coast artists because at the time they was not messing with nobody. I talked to the source personally. The guys there was like, yeah, man, it's looking like an East or West beef, man, and nobody, they're kind of put a heart on this stuff right now. So they were worried about that. We on the West Coast wasn't worried like that, but they were. So they kind of like put a heart on all that stuff. Like, so they wasn't trying to like sign new West Coast artists. You know what I mean? Okay. So and I never told nobody that, but I'm telling you now, but that's really what it was. It was like, yeah, he dope, but we ain't worried about him right now. So it's like they threw me in there, but they was like, it was so big passing away was so big that it overshadowed everything that was going on.
And what make this story, not to cut you off, but what make this story so crazy is that you on the unsigned hype or the hip hop quotable page of Biggie, the same page with Biggie on it. If I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So it's crazy that whole thing that transpired with the East Coast, West Coast thing with Big, and it's the source, kind of like it kind of played that kind of role, and then, it go from a positive to whatever they was talking about with how it kind of looks. That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, and his quotable on that verse to let you know was "kick in the door." That was his quotable. Is the kick in the door. Right. Verse, man, and
for us it was like, man, Eden kicked in the door, like so for us it's Eden kicked in the door, he done broke.
Yeah.
He in there, and it was good for us, and
right, and I applaud the time, man, and I was working with Kidnap and at the time, and his brother with Extortion Records at the time, and we was trying to do some stuff too, because I was in the source, so everybody was like trying to get the stuff together to put out a record from me. Yeah. And things didn't go as according to plan, but shout out to them, ain't no love lost, but it was just like things were kind of moving like in so many different directions that we decided to just do our own thing, so that's just basically what happened. It wasn't no funk, because me and Kidnap always been cool, but and his brothers, they was cool, but it was just like I think everybody had their own mind of what we were gonna do with my project. So we were working on music, but it was like, okay, how we gonna just what direction? He's in the source now, and and me, I feel like even though I'm in an independent situation, I want everything to move faster. So that's why I was at with it. I'm like, I'm in the source, let's go, and then things got pushed to a halt because everybody was like worried about contracts. So and that happens, it's the business side of it. So if to be realistic on this situation, it was really the business side that kind of fluctuated and made things look kind of weird. But it's still cool with everybody. I'm still cool with everybody. It's just the business, the contracts came up, and it just wasn't. I want to say not in the favor of something to sign, as an independent artist. So and that's how it happened. That's how it ended, like on that level. But shout out to Kidnap, man. He started my career on a lot of music. He got me my first deal with the first label I came out with, and he produced the whole record. And so if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be talking to E-Racy if it wasn't for Kidnap, because he called me up and said, hey man, somebody heard your music and they want to do some stuff. And he said they want to meet you in 2 weeks. So I went over with him, and we all went with me and met with the cats, and they was like, man, we like your sound. Let's do something, So that's how that happened, man. It was all Kidnap who actually put me in the game, So shout out to, I ain't never gonna have no bad blood on him.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. And shout out to Kidnap, because he's one of the 3 producers who kind of put me up on game. Him, and EJ, Ed Stevens, them 3 right there, and Pre put me on with the electric, the drum machines and stuff like that. And so shout out to Kev. So fast forwarding, a lot of those fans from then, do you still have a lot of those fans like to this day?
I think I do, because those people still hit me to this day, man. They'll randomly, man, I would always get some people like, hey man, what's up, E? What's up, new music? And I'm like, boy, where you? I was like, because you never know who's a fan of your music until someone contacts you. You know what I mean? So it's just like when I was doing music, I was still in my hood. I didn't even had outside people that knew about E-Racy. I was thinking like the 5-block, 10-block radius. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking like somebody in Marin or somebody in Vallejo might hear my music. I didn't even think like that. I was just thinking like, I made my music for my spot, my area, and that's who love it. That's who I hear bumping it. So I don't know about anything else. But then when you hear people from like Canada and Washington, it's hitting you like, hey, what's up, E? You working with any new music? I'm like, oh, shoot, okay. I do actually got those type of fans out there. That's why I say anybody that came from that era, you still have if you can still, of course, be consistent, but at the same time be like quality. Like if your music is a quality base and they recognize your name as being a quality artist, they'll still mess with you because they like something about you. So what you would do, I think in these days and time, and even though iTunes, Spotify is like big, you can still like, believe it or not, it's people that still want vinyl and CDs. Like CDs dropped, but vinyl went up. So I would tell people like, if you're from that era, you still should press CDs and vinyls because those people will buy it. You know what I mean? Like people will still buy that stuff because they use them as collector's items now. Now people, it's not, you might not see the average person buying a CD, but your fans that's from back in the days will love it. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I'm like, it's good to be online, but see, I'm from my era. I gotta drop something else for physical because that's who supported me.
Yeah. So you and Griffenstein, both of y'all are artists who have projects out in the 90s, and I got both of y'all here right now. So tell me about how y'all two kind of linked up. I know it's the past, and I just want to know how both of y'all kind of linked up because y'all got a few projects, a lot of work together.
Yeah, so I met, to keep it really 100 to 1,000. So I met Griff, man. We was working together at the Boat Mail Center, man. The mail place. Yeah, the post office, man. And I remember the day, man, he came up to me, he said, you E-Racy? I was like, yeah. He said, man, I'm doing this project. You want to be on, can you mind if you want to be on it? And I'm like, oh, shoot, it's all good, man. Let me know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. He had asked me, and he came in me like a cool dude. It wasn't like, hey, man, I need you to do this. It was just like, do you mind if you want to, get down with me on something? I was like, and I didn't even hear none of this stuff at the time. And I was like, yeah, man, you recognize me. It's all good, because back then I was just like, I don't know who I am. But then when he found out, he was just like, man, I want to try to get him on a song or something. So, yeah, we linked up from there. I got on his project. What was the first one? Was it Dark Riders?
I think it was Dark Riders.
Dark Riders, man. Yeah, that project he put out called the Dark Titans.
Dark Titan.
Yeah, I got on there, man, and I just let loose on that. You know what I mean? That was the coming of that fire E-Racy because I was feeling myself at the time, not like in the sense of like I felt like I was better, but I was like, I gotta bring it because I'm hearing Griff, this boy busting and going crazy. So I'm like, oh shoot, I got somebody that I gotta keep up to speed with, man. I can't just come in here and just do no regular rapping. You know what I mean? So
that's the good thing. Steel sharpens steel. That's why it's always good. That's why I always admire y'all in the bro highs because it was like you can't come weak. And that's what y'all should have did. Y'all should have did an album. Somebody getting kicked off of here. Niggas would have been so hard every time. So yeah, I appreciated all of that.
Bro,
and that was the same way what we did when when Slick was around, we when we did records, man, it was never a competition with us, but we did friendly competition. Like, we know if you writing a dope verse and you going in that booth and let loose, oh yeah, I'm coming right behind you, man. I'm not finna be weak either. I gotta come behind you. And I think the same thing happened with Pac and the Outlaws. That was the same approach that they had. Like, you coming, I'm coming off, oh, you gotta come behind me. And whoever coming behind the dopest rapper, you better come off too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we pattern our stuff after too. Like, okay, you come dope, I'm finna come right behind you, boy. I ain't coming with a whack verse either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the one thing Slick we was always talking about. He was like, man, when you come off on a song, when it's a group of artists, make sure your first line is one of your dopest lines. You know what I mean?
Shut it down, yeah.
Your first
line,
and
the last. First and the last. Yep.
Yeah, you make sure that when you first come on that they know who you are. You know what I mean? And that's some of them words to live by, man. Let people know that you here. Not like, oh, I'm gonna rap a little bit, okay, and then later on sound like I'm gonna get doper. You come off right away. You know what I mean? And I feel
that post office was an incubation room. I ain't gonna lie. We had Herb, we had Twist was there, Karma Manifest.
Right.
Who else was? We had a couple people in there that
man. It was like a whole
Z was in there.
Yeah, it was a nest full of, you know what, Z was just on a different shift for me. That's why I didn't know him. But shout out to Z, man. But he was there too. I think he was he was the morning shift or something.
He was the morning. I switched to morning. We was all on that late night shift. Yeah, everybody was there. Yeah. We was on tour three.
And shout out to PT that's on the B Squad. What is it? 9D B Squad.
9D. Yeah.
Yeah, he did the track, my last track, Don't Get Your Ass Kicked. He did that track. I told him, I said, man, I'm looking for a remake of this Das Effects. And he was like, oh, okay, and he got it to me. And I was like, I sat on it though. I sat on it for a whole year. So when I did the video, he was like, because I never did the song, I just had the beat. You know how you just have a track? So I sat on the track and I finally pulled it up one day. I was like, man, let me just write to this real quick. I wrote to it and I said, I'm finna do a video. I liked it so much. I was like, I'm finna drop it a video. So when he seen it, he was like, I forgot about that track. I said, man, I didn't. You know what I mean? So sometimes it happens like that, man. People might sit on something for a while and then they come out with it and you be like, whoa. Like, take for instance, Griffin, we dropped a video last year, me, you, and Contact off your record we did, how many years ago?
Many years ago.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it, but it's still fresh. The content is fresh. What we talking about is still relevant, and we put it out. We still put it out even though we dropped the record years ago. And that's what
nobody knew that. Nobody.
And that's and that's classic music for you. That's letting you know that we not worried about the times, and it's cool to make music for the times. But I'm gonna tell you about being a real artist and an MC is you make music. When you make music, it can stand the test of time because it's always gonna be what it is. If a dope record is a dope record, it's always gonna be a dope record. It doesn't matter when it comes out. You can sit on something for 5 years, you put it out. Somebody be like, oh, that's dope. And you be like, man, I had this record 5 years. To you, it might be old, but to the rest of the world, they ain't heard it. So that's why I felt good about when we did that video. You know what I mean? Because I was like, man, ain't nobody, people outside of your fan base ain't heard it yet. So we opened them up to something brand new. You know,
some people are acting was we a group. He's like, oh, y'all got a group album? I was like,
that's dope.
Want one? You want one? Because I can do it.
Yeah, man. And to piggyback on on you when we met, we did the Dark Titans thing, and then from there we just built a good relationship. Where we was all musically doing something. Then you invited me on your record. I invite you on my record.
Yeah.
Damn the Rest was a lethal song. I was loving that track. When you first sent it to me, I was like, yeah, we did. And back then we wasn't sending tracks, hey, rap on this and send it back to me. We was in the studio at the same time.
Oh man, we was in Po Man.
Yep. Back then it wasn't no send verses. We was in the studio. We were like, hey, I got a studio at 10:30. You got to come through to be on the song. And that's how it was. And that's what made it so authentic back then. It was like anybody that was on the song, they was there. It wasn't like oh, we added somebody on there. It was like none of that. It was just what you heard is what everybody, and that's what everybody was doing at that time.
Yeah, we gonna shoot that video to Damn the Rest. I'm thinking.
Oh yeah,
like Natural Born Killer kind
I already know. Yeah, you've been talking about it, man. You know, I'm
Yeah.
ready whenever. That's why I didn't even say that. I was just like, whenever you ready, because I know that's your record. It's like I ain't putting no pressure. I already know whenever you ready to do it, I'll be ready, man. I love that track, man. And it's like that's what I'm going back to saying. Time is music. Like I can listen to that still right now, years later, like and feel good about it. Like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable.
We was spitting.
Yeah,
ahead of the time though. That's what's crazy. It's like I agree. I agree. That one in Ill is one of my happiest songs. Yeah, that people really just say stuff to me about, and it's not many, but Dark Riders was raw.
Man, I'm yelling D-A-R-K Riders. I'm in there busting on sight. We mash on bite eyes. Man, I felt that song. When we did that, I was like, yeah, boy, yeah. I knew we had some chemistry when we did those records back to back. I say, yeah, man, we know how to make good music. You know what I mean?
And me and Ray was talking about it the other day. It's just like you get to the point where you're doing your music, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Then you forget to water your plants. You forget to do this, and then 10 years go past. You think you want to do So I do. I hate that we didn't do what we were supposed to do, but we did a lot.
Yeah, we did. You know, everything happens for a reason. You know, we was still on the underground. We was real underground, and it was good. You know, it's nothing wrong with that. It's because a lot of people take years, man. They be underground for so many years, and they finally break through. You know, take for instance, like all these artists that's independent, like Tech Nine, man. He was around for years before people knew who he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, oh man, where this dude come from? You know what I mean?
You the one that introduced me to Tech Nine.
That's for real? Yeah. I said,
you was like, man, you should see. Yeah, you saw that cover. You was like, Griff, listen to this. I don't care what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Listen to this.
And I always felt like you fit on that label to me because I'm like, strange, that was part of you. I was like, man, you fit. I just feel like they ain't heard you because you fit their label. You know what I mean? And you a spitter. So him hearing you, he'll be like, whoa. I know he'll be like, whoa. Have you ever tried to send anything to him?
I think with this dark network and everybody from Richmond, all this talent we got, I'm going to, they going to come to us.
Yeah, that's how you got to be. That's how you got to be, yeah. And you know what? And that's a good thing. That's why I couldn't wait to be on something because I'm like, I see what you're doing. Now, I want to be part of this. I say, man, we got to do an interview regardless, even if it's not the podcast or what. I need to be able to, because we got to get a fan something. You know what I'm saying? Get these people that really mess with our music. Let hear us talk, and so we can talk about things that's importance in music and our backgrounds. Because when you do that, you just bringing people in. You know what I mean? So, and I'm like low key. So this was a big opportunity for me to get on something like this. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, Rave is about to do. I don't want to keep using the word, but it's like a chronic where he's going to curate all the beats and choose the people he want to do. So we about to do a Richmond Renaissance. I know it's already some people think it's going on, but I mean, you can't have it if you ain't got Ray C in it.
Right. It's all good, man. You know what? And shout out to all the Richmond artists, man. I ain't never hated not one of them. You know what I'm saying? You know how it's, size divide people. But me, I always been like, accepting Richmond artists who came out, even if I didn't rush out and buy your record, but I always seen what you did. I always was like, man, I hope her blow up. I hope they do major big things. And you know what I'm saying? You know, me, I used to pray for artists. I remember when Irk the Jerk came out, I seen him when his name, he used Kevin Allen now, but he used to go by Irk. I remember when he was first starting out, right? I seen that boy rapping at a show that I was performing at back in the days. And I told the boy, I said, boy, you dope. He was like, yeah, he dropped a little EP, didn't think nothing. He was just doing his thing. And I remember before his big hit song came out, and I was like, man, I pray you blow up. He said, dang, boy, ain't nobody ever told me that. I said, yeah, man, I actually want you to blow up. You know what I mean? You sound so dope. You got the charisma, you got the lyrics, you got the voice, man. I hope you blow up. And I'm an artist myself still, but I still hope you blow up. You know what I mean? Like I
remember he was on that song with Master P and you and them. Earth to the junk, nigga, give me room. Remember the
oh yeah. No. He wasn't on that. That was before his time. That was Perk.
That was Perk. Oh, that was Perk. Oh,
that was the Perk. Yeah, the Perk. I think the Perk was from Vallejo or Fairfield.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Art the Jerk. Who that is then?
Yeah, the perk, man. You know, I haven't heard anything new from Dude, but I'm like, but I remember him at the time. I remember at the video shoot, I met him and everything like that. So, and I mean, he dropped a record. He did have that voice, the commanding voice.
Yeah,
him and Irk have similar voices. Yeah, so I know, I understand with the similarity.
But don't forget, he had that single right here, like about 10 years ago during the Hyphy movement. He came with that smooth record that I Just Want to Fuck You Right. That was him. And then he had Planes in the Air with Too Short and somebody else.
I think Griffin, he was just kind of getting mixed up probably, but you know, I'm pretty sure you heard of him or whatever. But I'm just going back to saying that, man, everybody from the Rich, man, I was always just like giving that one up to. I remember when what's the name came up under us like years later, what is it? What's the group name, man? Laz and them and Pooh? AOB. Yeah, so I don't know how I slipped up and didn't remember that, but yeah, AOB, when they was coming up, I was like, man, this the new Richmond right here, boy. You know, I remember me and Lil Larry was talking about him. We the Bro Highs, we still do music, but we was like, man, them boys, they the new Richmond right there. We was giving them props like, man, they finna blow. You know what I mean? We was like, yeah, they doing their thing. So like, I ain't never been a dude just sitting back like, oh, I don't like these new young dudes, man. They crowding the space. They ain't doing what we doing. I'll always give them a shout out, man. I don't care. Like, even if you didn't see me, I secretly gave you a shout out. So any Richmond rapper out there, if you drop music, just know that I always was bigging you up or trying to get you, like pushing you, you know what I mean? Even if you didn't see it. But I've always tried to give that unity, even though we didn't always have unity in Richmond. I know I might have been in the background sometimes, or I didn't always make myself available to everybody because that's who I am. I'm kind of like, you know, the people that know me. Like y'all know me, right? And I come around y'all, but everybody don't get to see me and be around me. You know what I mean?
And they can't take that personal. They cannot take that.
Man. It's just part of me. You know, I'm just, and then maybe that have something to do with me not being a bigger artist because I've always been chilling. Like I be to myself. I'm not really like always feeling like I need to be around a bunch of people in the studio. You know, I do when we come do studio stuff, man, that's business to me. We can chop it up, but if I know you, man, it's a fun time. But if not, man, I'm gonna come drop the track, man. We can chop it up for a minute, but I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. You know, and you might not see me for a year. You know what I mean? But that's just what it is. That's just how I am, you know. And then I guess for my projects that happen the same way, you know, they come, they go. You know, you might see one, you might not. Then here, boop, got something else. You're like, oh shoot, where this come from? You know. But yeah, I'm working. Just let everybody know I'm working. You know, I ain't never stopped really. I have moments where I'm not working on music, but I'm back working. You know.
Very good.
I'm getting that pen game. I'm trying to keep it lethal, man, because we in that day and age, man. You know, music is so big now, and there's so many different artists. Like whoever you are, just stay being who you are. That's how I look at it. Because, you know, they try to conform you to being like, hey, man, you should sound like this and sound like this to get on. I never been with that. Like if I made a radio track, it just naturally, organically became a radio song. It wasn't like I was trying to do that. So, and I think that's what make me unique because I'm not trying to do that. I just do it, you know. But I got a side of me that's that real underground too. You know what I mean? So I just like making music. So I don't even know. Sometimes I surprise myself. I don't know if I'm gonna come out with a radio song or underground song when I'm gonna rap. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know. You know, I just like making music. But you'll get that from me in a record though. You'll get both sides, you know.
Okay, so look, they say we got like 2 more minutes. I didn't know they was like that. They just had this thing pop up, said they was giving us a gift.
A gift?
2 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, a gift of longer than 40 minutes with a limit. So wonderful. I just want to say, you know, just as we close, shout out to both of y'all because I was seeing y'all names on stickers, flyers, full color projects, you know, hearing the things and everything before we even had projects out. So a lot of y'all stuff was the things that inspired me and Swerve and Tipsy and them to push real hard to try to get to where we at. Like right now to where I'm doing videos with E and I'm working with this network with Griff. So it went from one day seeing the names to actually being able to work with y'all. So that's
man. That's how you, and you know, I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but that's how you do it actually, man. When you come up, try to do it together, man, just smash. Just y'all find a niche where y'all can combine and do it and be creative and do it. You know what I mean? So like me, I'm a solo artist, man, but I'm always willing to, you know, help, especially, you know, at the older you get, you want to help other artists. You want to be collabing with and do stuff with other people, man. So I'm never against that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I do have my mode, you know, that the MCing part of me, when the track is just, you know, not working, I don't want to work with, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't never been like, oh, I can't do this track. Cause I look at it like, if it's a track that's a little challenging and I'm like, okay, they, you know, need some work, or they might, the people that's on here, it make me want to push harder. Cause I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a verse on here anyway. And I'm gonna show them this is how I MC, you know what I mean? So, I don't think I can think of any track that I ever said that I wouldn't do. You know, if it was I missed out on some songs though.
Yeah, you missed out on some.
I missed out on Sin's second record. You know, the record with everybody on there.
Oh yeah.
They came and got me. They was looking for me, and I
Mm.
was never home. Yeah, they came to the block looking for me, but I was never there when they was working on that record, and that's how I missed out. I missed out on a B. Jones. You know, his name is Swank. What is it? Swanky Rich. Swanky Rich. Yes. Yeah, my bro. I'm cool. That's my folks, man. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but anyway, I know he, you know, he had a baby or whatever, but he had a track on his first record that I was supposed to be on, and the timing was off too. So I missed out on that record. So some records that I missed out on, I don't feel good about. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be on those records. Like, I want to collab with the people that's up and coming from the, you know, anybody from Richmond that want to do a record with me, I always feel I'll be like, oh, I gotta be on there if they doing a record. You know what I mean?
Give them your email real quick before they boot us off of here.
Email. Go to namebrand600@gmail. That's that. You can get any business, whatever you want to contact me. Namebrand600@gmail, man. Erase C, man. I'm working on new music. Got something coming, dropping soon. I don't want to say coming soon, but y'all hear from me when it's finished. You know what I mean? I'm still doing my thing. Shout out to the bro highs, man. STN, baby. We still in here. You know what I mean? You know how we do.
Straight up. So when they want to find you on Instagram, how can they find you? Where they find you at?
Erase. It's erase_E. You know, I haven't been actively on there lately because I've been working on music, and I want my music to speak for itself. So once you see the music, you'll see me more on there again.
Great.
The Facebook is Erase C, the MC, and I'm on Twitter also, Erase C _E. So yeah, I'm on social. I'm on set. You know, if somebody want to get to me real quick though, get on Twitter, man. I've been on there lately, man, promoting myself, man.
Yeah.
It's easy, and it's like you really get to the people you need to get to. You know what I mean? Because you know every social media has this. Oh, okay, this is what you on here for. You know, Instagram might be for, hey, look at me, look at my pictures, and you know, Facebook, hey, this is everybody I know. But when you're on Twitter, it's a little different, man. It's like I can really promote myself. So it's Erase C. Everything Erase C, man. Go, you know, I'm on there, you know. We just keeping this music going, man. Y'all check Dap Daniel, Lucy Dream, singer, dope singer, young singer, man. You know, Dab Goddard, man, going, you know, she got a new single I call Crazy. Y'all go pick that up. Okay. You know, Riffenstein gonna hit you with something hard. Like I said, Erase C, I'm definitely still working. I won't give out no dates, but you will hear something.
Okay.
And, you know, just trying to keep it going, you know, but trying to stay positive, man. Shout out to Contact. I ain't say Contact name because that's gonna be a whole nother interview because I got so much to say about Contact, man. It's crazy. But shout out to Contact, man. He kept me lit when I wasn't lit. You know what I'm saying? He put me on kid projects, something that made me even a better person. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and we did a lot of stuff for kids, and it's unmatched, man, the things that I've done with Contact. And that's, like I said, that's a whole nother segment. So I'm gonna have to get back with y'all on that one because that's a whole nother hour. You know what I mean? I can't even talk about all that. I know we were going to ask other questions about Silky, and I don't know if we got time, but shout out to Silk. You know, I don't know if you wanted me what questions you had, man. I don't know if we got time or not. I don't know.
We'll have it on the podcast. We'll bring it back.
Okay, yeah, let's do that, man. We just gave people, you know, I was just giving a little something brief, you know what I mean? A little something briefly about me and whatever was going on with me. You know, still kind of, you know, still around here ticking. You know what I mean? I'm you know what I mean? So still ticking. You know, ain't nothing. You know, I'm taking my vitamins, man, and doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, so yeah, man. You know, we getting older, man. So I do more taking care of myself than anything. You know.
All right.
So,
Well,
All right. Cool.
thanks for hollering at us, man.
Yeah, like the boy Style P say, man, boost your immune system, man. Take care of your immune system. You know what I mean? Take the stuff that's gonna boost your immune system, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so we go holler in a little while, man. We go get you on the podcast. And,
yeah, let's do that.
Thank you for giving us the exclusives, man.
All right, definitely, man. Shout out to Dark Network. Shout out to Rave, and we y'all gonna keep seeing us going. You know, pushing this line, and you know, it feels good too.
Yep.
It's all
You
good.
ready to see down?
Damn.
All right.